What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it has been forever since I uploaded. Getting through a lot of shit in life, so thanks for hanging on and sticking with me. And I had to make this video because of course today might as well be a national holiday for Jeepers, because they finally announced a 392 going into the Wrangler from the production facility. Not actually, like, it's actually coming from the dealer. It's not the manufacturer. It's actually coming from the manufacturer. It's not gonna have to cost you like 30 grand to do like an engine swap anymore. So I want to talk to you guys quickly about that, and I'm gonna jump in the Jeep because it's a little cold out here. Okay, much better. I first want to thank you guys for sticking around. I appreciate the messages I've been getting on Instagram. I do read the comments. I know I kind of disappeared, but I was dealing with some personal stuff, you know, with the move, just being in quarantine, just getting in my head a little bit, and just taking some personal time away from social media pretty much as a whole. So I haven't really posted on Instagram, obviously not posted on YouTube. So yes, thank you guys for understanding, and let's just get right into it. Honestly, guys, today is one of the best days besides when the Gladiator launched, because everybody wanted a Jeep truck, Wrangler truck, and Jeep finally made a Wrangler truck. Now everybody, I mean, forever has been pushing for V8s to be put into Wranglers. I mean, makes a lot of sense that they should, and they used to way back in the day, but haven't in a very long time. Finally, they decided that, you know, they've probably been hassled way too much by anybody that's part of the Jeep community, and also it's a big money grab, let's be completely honest. A lot of people have done engine swaps in their Wrangler, but those cost like 30 grand. I mean, even more than that probably. And there's companies that have pretty much made an entire living off of, well, first doing a Wrangler truck, and then Jeep started doing that, and then they were making money off of the engine swaps, and now Jeep's doing that. So it's going to cut into their business quite a lot. But you know, there's still older Wranglers that people want to, you know, throw V8s in, so you don't have to buy a new one. Speaking of buying, there has been a lot unsaid at the press release thing that they had. They talked a lot about the heritage of Wrangler. They unveiled like an 80th anniversary edition for their whole line. But I noticed a lot of things were unsaid about this 392. They were pushing numbers for torque, even like the water fording, clearance, horsepower, obviously. All those things they were pushing, but there's a lot of things that they did leave kind of not even in a gray area. They didn't really even talk about it. First of all, they only showed 4 doors, so I'm assuming that the 2-door is almost being phased out. I know 4 doors are pretty much their bread and butter. They're going to be making way more of those anyway. Just look at the Eco Diesel. They didn't even offer the Eco Diesel in the 2-door, and it seems like the 2-door is unfortunately almost being phased out. Like, it's almost like an afterthought anymore. They are focusing on 4 doors very clearly. So unfortunately, I assume that they're not going to have the 392 in a 2-door, which would have been freaking sick because it would have just ripped. They did not talk about any pricing or like a lot of the standard features that are coming on the 392. They did talk a little bit about stuff that's going to be added, but they mostly focused on like, you're going to get different colored badging, and like, here's the new hood scoop that like flushes out water and stuff like that, which is all really important. But a lot of people want it to come down to price. So clearly they did not give a price for what the engine option is going to be, which means they didn't actually give a price for what the entire package is going to be, or you can't really give a good estimate. So I just very quickly went through, and I'll pop it up on the screen here so you guys can see. I got an email earlier this morning, and it said pretty much like, check out all the new specs for the 392 before we release it later. But what I found very interesting was they listed standard features for the Rubicon. One of the first things that was mainly like unsaid to me was 2-door options. They did not say anything about 2 doors. They didn't show any 2 doors. Everything they showed, everything they talked about was for the Unlimited. Not only that, but it was only for the Rubicon. So I don't expect that there's going to be a V8 in the Sahara. There's also not going to be a V8 in even like the Mojave Gladiator. I feel like that would be like a good one to, you know, actually they didn't even talk about Gladiator at all. Honestly, it's all Wrangler. So yeah, even Gladiator was untalked about, but even the Mojave feels like that was designed to have a V8, but for some reason they left it out. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I mean, the EcoDiesel isn't in the two-door, so it's one thing to assume that they're not gonna come around and do the V8 in the two-door, which would have been fun as hell because that thing would have ripped, you know, having a little two-door like that. But again, it's almost like Jeep's kind of phasing out or just putting the two-door on a back burner because it seems like they really don't care about that one anymore. They really only care about the four doors, which is going to be their bread and butter, and they're going to make more money on these anyway. They did send out an email earlier in the day for people that are connected to like JL forums, or I don't even know if it was for Jeep brand, but it came from JL forum, so it's a little weird. Basically it led me to a website where there's actually, what interested me the most was a list of standard features that are going to be listed in the Rubicon. So we can kind of guess on price here. Unfortunately, they didn't give a price for the total package, or they didn't give a price for what the engine option would cost. So they talked a lot about, yeah, you get like new colored like tow hooks and badges and like some sweet like 392 badges, and like they announced like there's half doors and stuff like this, but they didn't really announce price, which is one of the big things, which was kind of interesting, especially because it's going to be available here within the next like 4 months, 5 months. They said first quarter of 2021, so that's pretty soon. So I'm just going to run quickly through this. Just from that screenshot alone, these are the standard features that are becoming on the 392. So this is how I'm kind of getting my estimate, is I took a Rubicon from the website and pretty much added all of those options to kind of get like a baseline. So basically an auto transmission is going to cost you $1,500 to start off. So it might be more than that because it's going to be a little bit different, I believe, because of how much torque is going to, you know, the drive shaft and all that kind of stuff. So I just threw $1,500 in there. They're going to have color match fenders, which are like $700. Colored hardtop, which is interesting for a standard feature because you can only get that as a colored hardtop, or you can get the Skytop. One costs $2,300, one costs $4,000. So I just went with the $2,395, which is like the basic colored hardtop. They're going to have leather, which is a $1,600 option. The Uconnect option, which is with the Alpine radio, is going to be pretty much $2,000. And I'll put this up on the screen so you guys can see the actual numbers that I got. Keyless entry is going to be $545. HD electrical group is going to be pretty much $800. LED lighting group is going to be $1,300. Steel bumper group is going to be $1,645. Cold weather group, which is going to be $695. Advanced safety group, which is going to be $795. And just for a comparison, the most expensive option that they had for engines was the diesel engine, and I kind of am guessing it's going to be either around there or more expensive for the V8. So just for like a comparison, I threw in the diesel engine, which is a $4,500 option, which gives us about $18,000 to $20,000 worth of upgrades that are standard on a Rubicon, which start around like 40 something, I believe. So basically, when you add all that up to a basic Rubicon, what the number that I came out with was $62,690 according to the website. That's also, that's a round number. Like, let's be completely transparent here. I do not know the price of the engine, and that also depends on, they have like the Mopar 2-inch lift comes standard on there. It's also in that email. That's how they're getting their higher ground clearance, I believe. And I mean, it's just, even the auto, like, is that going to be $1,500, or is it going to be built into the price of the engine? There's a lot of like things that are kind of unsaid. So basically it comes down to like the engine and like the transmission price. But for standard, like a standard package, it's going to be like 62 to 63,000. And you can add stuff on top of that obviously as well. And again, depending on the engine option, 62,000 for that is like, so I think that the Wrangler 392 Rubicon, I think that they're going to be priced at dealerships somewhere close to, if not 70 grand, with dealer markup and all the other options that you can really add to them. And that is kind of, I'm going to be honest, that's a very high price to pay for a Rubicon. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's a 392 and the market's there, but the amount of buyers for a Wrangler at like $70,000 just because it has a V8 in it, I don't know. I really want to get one. I'm not going to lie to you. It would be tight to have a V8 in a Wrangler, and obviously people have had them forever, but from the factory, everything's warranted. You don't have to worry about pretty much a lot of stuff that goes wrong when you do engine swaps and electrical and all that kind of stuff. It's all covered under warranty. What's interesting is they included a factory 2-inch lift as well. I assume that's because they saw like pretty much the Broncos, like ground clearance was beating them out or whatever it is, and they wanted to compete with that a little bit. So but it was interesting that they didn't like say that in the promo at all, or for any matter, they didn't include this whole list of things that come standard as far as this email is concerned. It was interesting that the event was kind of focused on the V8 being in the Wrangler, and the horsepower and torque and things like that. But when it comes down to like pricing and your target market, I mean, it's going to be a fast Wrangler. Like, Toaster shouldn't be driving that fast. Let's be real. 13-second quarter miles quick for an SUV that's shaped like a brick. It was interesting that they did announce factory half doors. Another thing that was unsaid was the factory half door. The video that they had video of the half doors, but then they also had like these rendering kind of deals with like airflow going through the Jeep. If you guys go back and watch it, the half doors had some sort of frameless glass, and I'm not sure, they didn't even say if it was going to come with glass, if they're going to be automatic windows, if they're just the door panel, because I know the half doors for the JK, it was the door panel and then like a almost like a soft top material as like the upper piece that you could take off. But this one looks more like the Bronco, where it's like a frameless window, but they only showed that in the renderings, so that was like another thing that was kind of left unsaid for me. There's so many details that have been left out. Other things real quick, they are going to come with 33s standard, which is kind of a little bit upsetting, especially because they're putting a 2-inch lift on it. They should be able to be 35s to compete with the Broncos Sasquatch package. So it's kind of weird that they left it at 33s. And of course, they only mentioned that it is going to have automatic with paddle shifters. I doubt that they're going to have a manual V8 in a Wrangler. Would be completely dope. I've seen a couple people ask me actually, or even in like the Jeep comments for Instagram. It was interesting to see people asking for a manual version. Personally, I probably wouldn't want to drive a manual V8 Wrangler. I mean, I guess it could be fun, but I mean, I understand the choices that they're making here. All right, so anyways, that's my 2 cents on the whole thing. Would love to see more options for 2-doors. Like, let's be real, like Jeep's putting the 2-door like out of commission. Like, it seems like they don't even care about it anymore. No manual option. Half doors, kind of like, do they have glass? Don't they have glass? How much does the engine cost? How much does the whole package cost? Does all that stuff actually come standard? There's so many questions that I figured were left unasked that I should make this video for you guys. So yeah, leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the Wrangler and what you think the pricing's gonna be. Again, I'm gonna guess that it's gonna start around 65, but I'm willing to guess that for at least the first like 6-ish months, you probably would possibly not be able to find one under like 68, 70 with dealer markup and special ordering and all the other options you can add and stuff. These are already going to be pretty much high-priced standard editions. I mean, they pretty much come with every option, you know, besides like one or two, which is, I mean, they're gonna add up eventually. So go ahead, leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see a two-door version in the V8? Would you like to see like a sport 392 where like you basically get the only option is a V8 and then you can build your Jeep from there? I personally would have rather seen that than every option possible plus the V8, and that's the only way you can get the 392. That would have been awesome for them to do a sport with the 392 engine in it, and then you can configure it the way you want. I think that that was the way to go for Wrangler, but maybe again this could be like some sort of launch edition that I was informed about, but I didn't say launch edition anywhere on there, so I'm assuming that base they come around 63,000. So thank you guys again for watching. Get down there, hit subscribe, leave a like. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, because that way you won't miss when I do actually upload. And go ahead, leave some comments. Let me know what you guys think of the 392 edition and things you wanted to see on it, or things that you wish would have happened, whether it be a two-door, less options, bring down the price somehow. But yeah, basically, I think that's going to start around 65,000. Wouldn't be surprised if it was more around 70. So yeah, let me know what you guys think below. I will come out with some new videos here soon. I installed some rock lights. Other than that, really, there's not a whole bunch new with the Wrangler. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and we will catch you guys in the next one.